Hi Year 5, welcome to your next lesson. I hope you enjoyed learning about the etching process. That is why we do mark making, because it reflects the marks of how you etch. Today we are going to do a colour version of mark making and enlarge our work so we have 2 to a page. With etching, you probably saw that a lot of it was in black, but you can actually etch and print in a range of colours. So this method will show you how you can create an image through coloured lines, basically. Today I'm going to use some online images to complete my work because I'd like to do a bit of work on bugs, because bugs have quite interesting textures and colours to their bodies. One that comes to mind is a ladybird or even like a caterpillar, and I think they will be very effective when working in colour. So as I always do, I will show you how to lay out your page. And then we'll get started. Right, here we are. So I've called the title today Marks in Colour. You can see I have drawn out 2 boxes. Now the boxes, this mark measurement here is 12 centimetres and this is 14 centimetres up here. And then I've added in my title. What I'm now going to do is just emphasise my title, make it stand out a bit more, and then I'll start selecting my images before I get working. So here is my page with my emphasised title. You can see here that I haven't rubbed up my lines yet. I'm just letting the ink dry, but I will do. Just a reminder, when you're finding your images, make sure your images are real photographs or real photographs that you've taken to make sure that your image looks real. We definitely don't want to use cartoons for this project. We are trying to do a realistic, observational colour mark drawing. So please just bear that in mind when you are finding your images to work from. So I've just drawn out my ladybird. You can see I'm obviously still using pencil. That's absolutely fine for you to use pencil too for your guidelines. Just add in the kind of key shapes or the key colour shapes of your flower, bug or plant. And then we're going to start to use colours, but we're going to do it in marks. We're not going to colour in, so be aware, please don't colour in. Because the colouring in does not work with etching. As we now know, it needs to be a mark on the paper. You can use for this, coloring pencils would be best. If you had a very fine set of felt tips, that would be okay. But if we want to get the detail and the accuracy, a sharp coloured pencil would be best. So here is the start of my ladybird. You can see here I'm using cross hatching in the dark areas, and I've lightened it here because there is a light reflection in the image. Then added in the spots with straight lines here, and I've added in the feet and the details at the front. If I now go back and have a little look at my mark making page, this is why we did it, so we can use it as reference. So I want to try and make the wings of the butterfly look quite smooth. So I might actually go for something like a spiral, but do it very lightly and give the wings that effect in red. And then I've got the leaf. Now with the leaf, I might try maybe something like scribbling or loose lines, just to give it a slightly different texture and see what effect it creates. So I'll show you the next stage. So here's the red part done. You can see I've used my swirls here for the colour. I've pressed a bit harder in the darker areas that I can see and pressed lighter in the lighter areas. I've also added a few lines going up and down to emphasise that's how the wings go. Now I'm aware that when I did this bit was slightly wrong. This bit came out a bit too far and this bit needs to be a bit more curved. But I'm not worried about it because it still looks like a ladybird. And as in nature, everything looks a bit different. So when you are drawing from observation, if there are the odd or there's a few mistakes here and there, it doesn't matter. Just keep working on it and keep adding in the marks for the colour. I'm now going to finish off by adding in the leaf. So here is the leaf added in. You can see my scribbles here. I have used lines as well because you can't always do everything just with a scribble with a mark. Sometimes you need a bit of guidance. You can see here that even when I have added in a scribble, I've really tried not to go over the other colour. to give it a good presentation and a good effect. And I have left areas of white, which is fine. You can see again here, I've gone up close, but I haven't gone over. And I've used double colour, so I've used a light green and a dark green just to give it a bit more of a 3D effect. I'm now going to finish off the background. Now in the background of the picture it is green, but I think I'm going to go for a blue just to give it slightly more contrast. And I think I might try and use contour lines around the ladybird, just emphasise that's the shape. I also here haven't gone and filled up the whole of my box because the picture actually stops here. So if you are someone who is working in something that's slightly more square than rectangular and your picture stops, don't presume what's there because we can't see it. So just stop the image at the edge of the box, but do try and fill the box to give some great impact on this page. Here is the finished ladybird. You can see I have used marks, so I've got my cross hatching here, I've got my spirals here, I've got my curved long lines, I've even got my single lines here on my hatching, I've got scribbles and I've got contour. So I have really tried to draw this using marks and lines and not just colouring it in. So please do try to do that. Please do not colour in because it is not the effect of etching. Etching is a mark and a line. I'm just going to emphasise that even more. And I have cropped the image here and here to make it more square, which is fine. I'm now going to go on to my second one. I'll see if I can do a time lapse for you just so you can see how it builds up. So I finished the caterpillar. I have to say, I'm not sure I'm that happy with this one. I think picking the caterpillar image might not have been the best choice because it's quite an unusual shape and there's lots of stripes. It almost looks like a kind of a black and white and yellow zebra. So when you are picking your photograph, just make sure that the object or the shapes are really clear because I can see it's a caterpillar. I know it's a caterpillar, but I'm just not sure it's my best piece of work, if that makes sense. And you also would have noticed as well that I have turned the page to fit it because it was a very rectangular landscape image, which was more effective. So you can see the two here compared. I'm definitely happy with the ladybird. I do like the caterpillar, but I just think the image was not the best choice. If I just go back to the caterpillar, I have used cross hatching, I used zigzag on the light green, I used lots of lines on the stripes. I used swirls on the, looks like a stem of a leaf, and swirls in the background. You can see with the background I've pressed harder and pressed lighter to try and show the different depths of the background. I've also added in a black outline here to the leaf because I just thought it needed it. I wasn't clear enough with just in colour. So if there's the odd moment where you need to add in a bit of black or a dark line to emphasise what you've done, then please do that. I've also left a space here because I didn't feel like I needed to add in loads of green here because it kind of wasted my time, but I get the effect. So please have a really good go with these. I think I might just finish this off by adding a bit of colour to my colour, and that's my completed work. Like I said, make sure that you use marks and make sure that you pick an image that you think is most effective and upload it to Teams.